day, everyone. I am Marijo M. Canarias, and today I will be discussing the lesson 14, ensuring total pupil participation in literature classes. So, learners in any English or literature class are diverse in many ways. Sometimes, the challenge is to ensure that each learner is fully engaged in class and actively thinking. As has been seen, some learners are naturally energetic or endowed with a high level of activeness. They are those who are often raise their hands and appear to be all-knowing. Learners who never tend to stand and speak, on the other hand, do exist. This is why every teacher in English, especially those teaching literature, should be loaded and armed with techniques and strategies to subdue this reality. And the following are some of the most recent strategies and techniques that a teacher could employ to curb the daydreaming in classes. This not only ensure a high degree of participation among pupils or students, but they also allow learners to exert effort to think critically. These techniques and strategies are aimed at both collaboration and communication skills of the students. Some of the following techniques, tips also provide every teacher with the ideas on how to integrate the use of interactive technology in teaching. So first, technique and strategy, we have the rippling and bouncing answers. It is proposed by Himley 2011. This teaching strategy is intended to elicit answers that will be processed by the entire class. It is a class collaboration teaching approach. Moreover, it is dependent upon a craft controversial, high-order, and critical questions. It also banks on the learner's reflective and divergent thinking skills and relies on effective communication and collaboration of ideas among the learners. And this technique can be used either a pre-reading or post-reading activity. So we have the step-by-step directions. First, the teacher write an open-ended question about the text. Provide ample time for learners to think about their answer. All pupils respond individually to the prompt or question. Or controversy. And all pupils share the responses in dyads or triads. Fifth, the volunteers then share. Pairs or small groups will read a sentence summary when they are asked to share. So for better understanding, I prepared an example. For example, in a literature class discussing a novel, the teacher asked, "What do you think was the main motivation for the protagonist's actions?" The teacher then selects a student to answer who responds with an interpretation based on the character's backstory. The teacher then asks another student to build upon the previous response, perhaps offering a different perspectives based on the character's interactions with other characters in the novel. So next, we have the what we call link it cards. Encouraging the pupils to share their thoughts is easy, but ensuring that they have words to mumble and share is another story. The tenets of constructivism as a teaching theory may be applied to allow the learners to take the initiative for their own thought-sharing experience. Hence, using LinkedIn cards have relied on the power of scaffolding or learner support in the early stages of thought processing in order for him or her to be an active learner. This activity uses prompting statements as scaffolds, especially for those who might encounter difficulty in starting their thoughts. The learners will continue the prompt cards they pick. And before selecting the prompt cards, the teacher must show them all incomplete statements on the board and give them enough time to organize their answers. And in this method, wait time is given for the both fast and slow learners. And we have the step-by-step directions for this technique or strategy. First, the teacher writes the instruction including the prompts. For instance, look for the meaning of your classmate's answer by asking him or her a question, starting with any of the following statements. A. I did not understand that part on. B. I understand that part, however, I am not so sure about. C. How about if? And D. So you are saying that. And after that, the questions are written on the cards. It is distributed the cards and let each learner choose a card. 4. Allow time for conversation. And 5th, process the response in large group sharing. So I prepare an example. Before discussing a poem in the class, the teacher distributes a linked cards containing words like imagery, tone, symbolism, and theme. Each student receives a card and is asked to link the words on their cards to a specific aspect of the poem during the discussion. And for instance, a student with the card that written a symbolism word might link it into imagery of a rose in the poem, discussing its symbolic meaning. So next, we have the what we call finding partner in a music mingle. This is a discussion-based activity technique that ensures total participation of the pupils. Learners are blindfolded as they look for partners to converse with afterwards. Music plays a crucial role in this activity as a variation to consider auditory learners. The teacher has to come up with controversies, open-ended, and reflective questions about the text. And a teacher uses this activity to develop the divergent thinking and ability of the learners and their speaking literacy. It can be done at least thrice. Rules must be also discussed prior to this activity, like avoid leaving someone when the music stops, respect the opinions and answer of your classmates, stopping and speaking with the same person twice as well as side chatter or side conversation are prohibited. So we have these step-by-step directions. First, the teacher prepares a piece of a lively music, something that the learners can relate to and enjoy. Next, the controversy or open-ended question about the text to be read is posted on the board. 3. Allow time for answers to be conceptualized. 4. Blindfold the learners. 5. Rearrange their positions and remind them to keep silent. 6. Play the music and allow them to freely roam around the classroom. 7. When the music stops, allow them to find their pair. 8. Let them remove their blindfolds and allow time to share. So, for example, during a unit on Shakespearean sonnets, the teacher plays instrumental music as students walk around the classroom. When the music stops, students pair up and discuss their favorite sonnet from the unit. And after that, they will analyze the structure, language, and theme of the sonnet together, sharing their interpretations and insights about it. We have here the expanding your network. This activity is best suited for debriefing or wrapping up a lesson. The teacher's responsibility is to provide stimuli or debriefing such a question or incomplete statements. The teacher should offer metacognitive questions to engage the learners in conversation effectively. The aim of this activity is for the learners to expand their network. They accomplish this by sharing their views with their peers with whom they have not yet spoken throughout the lesson. So we have the step-by-step directions. 1. Have the briefing question or prompt posted on the board. 2. Allow time for answers to be conceptualized. 3. Ring a bell or use any sound signal for them to look for a partner with whom they have not spoken in the whole period. 4. Allow time for conversation and sharing. 5. Ring a bell again and play the sound signal. And for the example, we have the after reading a short story, the teacher asks students to write down their thoughts on the theme of the story. And after that, students form small groups and share their ideas with each other. And each group discusses the different interpretation of the theme and explores how various elements of the story support these interpretations. And finally, each group presents their findings to the class, expanding everyone's understanding of the story. Themes through collaborative discussion. So, for the last one, we have the Human Lurk Scale and Savvy Survey. Through this activity, pupils will have a chance to enhance their decision-making skills and to let them make a stand on an issue. At the same time, they will have the opportunity to discuss with their classmates whose stand is the same as theirs. It is an excellent way to focus on themes and concepts within the text being discussed. It leads to the creation of a wide array of options. Paramount requirement or it to be successful is a set of highly debatable and controversial topics. So we have these step-by-step directions. The teacher identifies 4 spots in the room. It is namely strongly disagree, disagree, agree, and strongly agree. 2. The highly debatable question or issue is posted on the board. And 3. Allow time for the conceptualization of answers or wait time. 4. Ring a bell or use any sound signal for them to stand and designated posts that correspond to their level of agreement. 5. Allow time for conversation and sharing with their groupmates. a bell again or play the sound signal. And that's all for today. Thank you for listening. Again, I am Marijo M. Canarias.